Hi, I'm Mary Pipino, and welcome to Fit for You, the show that teaches you how to live a healthier and more fit lifestyle. Happy Thanksgiving to all, and I am so thankful today to be standing here at the Lake Club in the room that my sister and brother-in-law, Chris and Ed Moransky, made in honor of my father, Don Pipino, who unfortunately we lost a little over a year ago. It's such a very special time of year, and we all have so much to be thankful for. And one of the things I want to talk about today during our show is helping our viewers to realize things may happen in your life that seem very negative at a particular time, but then eventually may lead you to something positive. The point being, don't let sometimes the not so good things get you down. Maybe they will turn out to be a blessing in disguise and something you're really going to be thankful for. My special guest has a darling little story to tell us. My adopted niece, as you know from watching my shows, you've met some of my friends and family over the couple of years we've been doing this. And I want to say a special hello and thank you to all of them for being a special part of my life at this time of year, and get into the show. Thank you and have a wonderful Thanksgiving. In keeping with my family tradition, this special time of year, when family and friends are so important, I am so happy to introduce you to my guest, Rachelle Pavelko. But I have to give you a little background on Rachelle. She's much more to me than just an acquaintance. Rachelle is my adopted niece, as she and my dear precious niece, DeLauren Moransky, went to high school together, became very, very close friends, and that's how I got introduced to Rach. So we go way back, and you can call me Aunt Mare during the segments. I love it, love it, love it. But I noted in my introduction, honey, one of the things I wanted to bring into our show today, was something special about Thanksgiving. And one thing people don't realize is there are negatives in our lives that sometimes direct us into something very positive and wonderful that we also can be thankful for. It's not always about just the really great things, Sometimes you don't realize it, and you're a shining example of that. You're joining us today as a runner with a wonderful background in track and so on that we'll get into. But let's talk about your background a little bit. Went to Poland High School.
Correct.
And you ran at Poland.
Yes, track and cross country at Poland.
Okay, then you graduated from Poland and went on to OU, Ohio University, correct?
Ohio Northern University.
Okay.
Yep. And I ran track and cross country there as well, and then went to University of Memphis for my master's.
And did you compete at all when you were in Tennessee?
When I was in grad school, I started running half marathons and marathons, but I did not compete on the team there. I used my eligibility at Ohio Northern.
So let's go back to what the negative that became such a positive to be thankful for. Tell us about what happened when you first started, how you got into running when you were young.
I first started in middle school track. I ran with some friends on relay teams, and they were very short distances, so it was fun and more of a social aspect than anything else.
But before that, tell them how you got into track.
Well, that was actually cross country is what you're thinking of,
Oh, okay.
I think. Yep.
Go ahead.
I played volleyball in middle school and freshman year of high school, and then I was actually cut from the team, and kind of as my last resort as sports, I turned back to cross country. The cross country coach at Poland, Kim Graf Grisdale, was very positive and loved running and was always trying to urge me to join the team. So after that cut, I thought maybe I'll give it a shot. And it turned out to be my favorite sport, and I absolutely loved it, and it's become a part of my lifestyle
And you
now.
never would have done it had you not been cut from volleyball.
Correct. I was not into distance running whatsoever. She had to force me.
So now you get into it, and so talk to us a little bit about the legacy of your running.
Like you mentioned, I ran in high school, track and cross country, and really started to get passionate about long distance running my senior year of high school. and I wasn't ready to stop competing. So I decided to continue on at college and joined the track and cross country teams at Ohio Northern. And we ran year-round. Cross country was in the fall, and then we had indoor track during the winter and outdoor track during the spring. So it was a very rigorous schedule with training and always being surrounded by teammates and coaches. And I've been very blessed to have good teammates and coaches at both the high school and college level.
Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
When
Sorry.
we talk about, when we talk about working out and we talk about trying to fit exercise into a schedule, I think it's so impressive that through your entire lifetime, and now I'm proud to say, Rach is also a part of the Pipino Company team as our director of social media communications, but through it all, no matter how extensive your schedule got and how difficult, and I believe you studied in Europe for a while, you can tell us about that, you always managed to work it in. And people often ask me, I just don't have the time, I just don't have the time. How did you make the time during all the different, aspects of your life?
That was definitely a nice skill that I learned in college, mainly from our distance coach. He really stressed the importance of getting all your schoolwork done so that you had time for practice. And each weekend we traveled for our meets, so we didn't have a lot of free time. So we knew if we had a project or a test, we had to make time to get that in. We would practice every day at 4 o'clock, so kind of the same time schedule to get everything done. And college really taught me a lot for time management with competitive running and being able to balance the two with academics and athletics.
When did you study in Europe for a short period?
It was the summer before my junior year at college at Ohio Northern.
And how long were you there?
Just about a month.
And what did you do when you were there? How'd you figure it out? How am I going to fit this in and where am I going to go? You were in foreign land.
We got a training plan from our coach at college each summer before we left. And it was very detailed. Each day we had a workout we were supposed to do, weekly mileage. So I took that with me and just kind of found my way around and figured out when I could fit workouts in. I was only taking one class over there for school, so it wasn't too challenging to find a little bit of free time to get the runs in, but finding new areas was a challenge.
And I think I try to tell people, find, like you said, your coaches were an inspiration to you. Mm-hmm. Plus, they were a source of information. So I think when people are lost or don't know what to go, talk to friends or family who are involved in some aspect of exercise and activity, or just have a consult with a personal trainer. Talk about, what you want to achieve and then find something that you like to do. But don't you think it's so important to find resources to really help you to accomplish whatever your goals are?
Absolutely. The coaches that I've been blessed with in my life have all been very positive, very inspirational. They love running. They always ran with us at practice. It wasn't a coach that was on the sidelines just, kind of shouting at what we were supposed to be doing. They were there with us, doing workouts, doing practices, and just really encouraging us to keep going and keep trying our best.
Now take us over here, and I believe this is our stuffing.
That is, actually. That's a whole wheat bread with the stuffing, so you lose a little bit of the, the carbohydrates and the triglycerides that you get from white bread. And what you'd asked us to do was put a little bit of extra onions and celery and things like that. We always come back when you're eating healthy to this textural issue. A lot of extra celery takes away from the saltiness of chicken broth that you would typically use, butter, fats, and things that you'll find in traditional stuffings. Substituting just a little bit of extra texture and natural vegetables replaces all those flavors, and it's absolutely wonderful.
And viewers, always think about when you're making a stuffing, for example, load up, chop the celery, the carrots, a little bit of onion, but the celery and the carrots and any other chopped vegetables you want to put in. I've chopped up what's ever left. I've added cauliflower, broccoli, whatever. But use a huge bowl of chopped vegetables in a 1-to-1 ratio with what you're using for the bread. And it is absolutely delicious and so moist.
It is. And
use a lot of broth, so you don't need as much butter. Mm-hmm. I saute my onions in a little bit of olive oil, so I avoid the butter altogether.
Very well done.
The sweet potatoes, an absolute favorite, are yams. Very healthy, very high in beta-carotene, very nutritious.
Like Mary said, very, very healthy in beta-carotene. A great replacement for carrots. Done very, very simply. Steamed or boiled, whatever apparatus you have at home. very, very healthy for you with a light dusting of artificial sweetener, whether it be Splenda, stevia, Equal, anything of that nature. The only thing you need to be careful with when you prepare something like that is sweet potatoes, and in their very nature, are very, very sweet. So you want to lay back a little bit on the natural sweetener and enjoy the natural state of the vegetable.
Have you done it with a little bit of natural maple syrup?
Honey, anything of that nature is absolutely wonderful.
Yes.
Absolutely wonderful. You can substitute that in almost any application, and it works out, if not a little bit better, actually.
All right, now, and my absolute favorite, I think we have our heart-healthy pumpkin pie that has absolutely no crust.
Correct.
And pumpkin is another extremely nutritious food. Tell us how you made it.
Basically what we did is we substituted evaporated milk that typically goes into a pumpkin pie filling. We used whole pumpkin, used the very low-fat evaporated milk, very low sweetness evaporated milk, and artificial sweetener in there. Once again, pumpkin in its roasted state, and I know we come back to this textural thing, you lose the crust, but you regain it with apples. So the crunch is still there, you won't even notice the difference is gone. And the pumpkin in its natural state is so sweet and so delicious, there's very little need for artificial sweetener, for sugar. A little bit of honey, a little bit of maple, like you said, is always a great substitution. But it's wonderful, just like it is. You would never know the difference.
It looks absolutely gorgeous. And I noticed you also gave us a little pumpkin, is it a pumpkin custard here?
Yeah, it's pumpkin custard, actually. Once again, we go back to the low-fat evaporated milk, skim milk, egg whites, things of that nature. Take out the cholesterol, take out a lot of the extra fat. You still get the airiness, you still get the lift, you still get all the wondrous textures and flavors from a full-fat dessert. None of the guilt, though.
All right, take just a few seconds, because we need to be very thankful for your good health, because you were somebody who took charge of their weight. You're a pretty big guy, six and a half.
6'6", yeah.
All
large,
right.
Yeah.
And you know, for health reasons.
Yeah, my cholesterol was higher than I'd like to say. But,
okay.
You know, with healthy eating and with medicine, it's come down about 150 points in 2 months. So, you know, it's still on its way down.
Now, how have you changed your diet?
Basically, I've cut out a lot of things. I've cut out full sugared sodas. I was drinking a lot of soda. You know, I cut out sodas completely. I limit myself to maybe one Diet Pepsi every couple days. Only fish now. I very, very rarely eat red meat, eat pork, eat chicken, anything like that. I eat salmon, I eat mahi-mahi, I eat tuna, I eat things of that nature. All fresh vegetables, you know. But once again, very little butter, very little salt, very little things that are high in sugars. And it comes down naturally for you. The medicine obviously helps a bit, but at the same time...
Well, but you're bringing your weight down quite a bit.
Trying to.
With yeah. And do you really miss it? I mean, haven't you?
No, not at all. Not at all. There's very little things that you miss on a daily basis.